So today we will start with genetics. And the first thing to start with genetics is Mendel's laws. You people have read it, but still every year whenever I correct some questions on Mendel's law, there are problems and there are things people make mistakes. So in order to sort of rectify this problem, I'm just taking these classes. So actually, who was Mendel? Hmm. So who was Mendel? Mendel was a father in a monk in a monastery in Austria, Brunn Monastery in Austria. And, currently now it's in Czechoslovakia. In former times he was known as an Austrian monk. German. He was a German-speaking Austrian monk. So those days, these monks, the priest, he was a priest, a father. So their work was they used to in this particular village. It was Brunn was a village at that time. Uh, People used to come for services. If some for a marriage, used to conduct a marriage. Somebody died, used to conduct funeral services. So there were these fathers. They used to live over there, and these fathers, they did some social work also. And those who were associated with the church, they used to have to pay a bit of a money. It's like a monthly scheme they had, that everybody is to take the services of the church, Sunday prayers and all, listen to good things, to sermons. They used to go to this church, and then they used to confess their sins and whatever they used to do. So he was one of these persons, but he was basically these monks, they had lots of free time for themselves, so they were encouraged to do lots of studies, philosophy, arts, literature, whatever. They do some studies and all. So he was who the head monk liked Mendel very much, and so he told that you can do your scientific research. So he was given a field, and he did lots of work. He even did work on astrology, astronomy, and everything he did. So Mendel started using pea plants for his process. Pea plant for his studies. So he wanted to find out the laws of inheritance. Till now, there were no laws on something around 1865. Mendel had made this book. Something around 1860s to 1865, Mendel performed a series of processes. Till then, there were no laws of inheritance. A compatriot of his time, although they never met, was the very famous British, you can call scientist, Charles Darwin. Does anybody remember in which year Charles Darwin wrote his book, The Origin of Life, Systema Naturae? No, no. This is a homework. I can tell you it is something around this 1855 to 1870, something around this time. You have to find out which time it is. This is your homework. When did the Charles Darwin write his famous book? And what was the name of this book? This is going to come haunt you throughout your life. So Charles Darwin also lived there. He's a famous person. So what he did was he gave the laws of, rather you can say that he gave the concept of natural selection. Actually, one at a time. ঢোকো ঢোকো তুমি ঢোকো, হ্যাঁ মাঝখানে বসে যাও এখানে। He gave the concept of, বসে মাঝখানে বসে যাও, আরাম দেখতে পাবেন, নিচে নামলেই দেখতে পাবে। Natural selection. So Charles Darwin lived during that time, gave the concept of natural selection. Natural selection, how does it talk? What does natural selection talk about? It says that the word is survival of the fittest. It is one part of natural selection, the important part of selection. What it says over here is that organisms, they give birth to lots of offspring. Lots of offspring. They give birth to lots of offspring. Of all those offspring, some are much more suited to survive in a particular environmental condition. His concept is that the environment is constantly changing. The environment is constantly changing. Sometimes it can become warm, sometimes it can become cold, sometimes it can become some other thing. So some organisms are better suited for some particular that particular condition. So there are lots of organisms or offspring. Some offspring are better suited for a particular environment, right? And some are not. Some offspring are not. So there is a fight for survival and resources. Is it clear so far? Now the next thing is, and in this fight for survival and resources, some of the fittest of them will survive. Now this is something on evolution, the backbone of modern evolution. This was a big, huge, and hue and cry was there. And Charles Darwin the Great, Charles Darwin the champion. Whenever it's the British, some British does something, well, nobody can do it better. The British, the tabloids, the newspaper, all over, people started misinterpreting him that our ancestors were monkeys. But actually, he did not mean to say that. Monkeys and us, we have got a common ancestor. That's what he meant. So people started, the church came out against it. The church came out against him. To remember, the Catholic church went out against him. They brandished him like this. Then one lady, some British Nobel's lady, I think Sir Darwin is maybe right. I cannot dispute him, but I hope that other people do not get to know about this, that we came from monkeys. And they believe that God said that there be light and there was light. That was the concept. Nothing, I'm saying about any religion. Every religion has got its flaws. Because religion itself is not nothing. It is just a reflection of society. How the people interpret the religion, that is very important. You can interpret certain good things on a religion in a very bad scale. Any religion, even they had fanatics, Hindus have fanatics, Muslims have, everybody, it is just a group of people who are fanatics. Others are bothered about their daily existence. That's it, the daily survival for the fittest. Even they are also doing, even those who make the fanaticism. So the church came against it, and nothing against it. Right now that it is, we are going, they are going in a different manner. The church is accepting a lot of things nowadays. So the church went against, and the church told that this cannot be, you cannot have this theory, and so there was a constant fight. So all said about the social and economic problems, there was one very important thing which is very was absent in this theory. This is perfect theory, that every generation in a changing environment there are slight changes, and this slight changes, they accumulate over time, because say for example somebody who has suddenly the temperature of the earth is increasing a lot, yeah, and some people like warmer climate. So out of 10 children, one child likes warmer climate, the others like colder climate. So the other children are not getting an advantage. So the child which has likes the warmer climate is getting a warm something, a warm predisposition to survive. It's the survival of the fittest in the changing environmental conditions. Now he has got certain components inside him. That this genetic component was missing. What is it that makes him survive under warmer conditions? He mentioned that there are certain changes. Some are more adapted to a particular condition. Now, what are these changes? Now we know that they are genetic factors inside. That this genetic factor inside me makes me more predisposed. There are certain genetic factors which are present. So this is a very important part. This was missing in Darwin's theory. But Darwin was the champ, and the saddest part is Mendel also lived during the time of Darwin. Mendel also read Darwin's book, because in his monastery room, Darwin's book was found. Theory of the natural book, on where he mentioned about the natural selection. Uh, the book was found, a German edition, German translated edition of that book was found, and he made notes that here my words can be put inside. He also made the notes in German over there. He never knew English. They used to speak in German. He was an Austrian, so he used to speak in German. The German edition was found. Later research showed that all these. Later research showed that this German edition and all these things, they found that Mendel was quite aware of Darwin, and Mendel once went to England also to meet, just to went over there. For what reason Mendel went, God knows, but he went over there. But the tragedy is that the two never met. So Darwin never sort of wanted to know what was the genetic component or to Mendel's work. So let us now see what was Mendel's work. So Mendel crossed pea plants of different varieties. Mendel crossed pea plants of different varieties. Now, what he did was, say one variety was tall, one variety was dwarf. Nowadays, We name the gene by its mutation. According to একটু হ্যাং করে এগুলো, একটু মাঝে সাঝে আমাকে ইয়ে করতে হয়, কিন্তু because it's a huge processor requirement it's taking, so sometimes it I have to do it, so don't get bothered by that, but otherwise it works fine. So according to the mutation, so the normal variety is tall, the mutation is dwarf, so we name it as the mutation, so we call it capital D. এইটা হচ্ছে একটা বালকার জিনিস, এটা আমি একটা অন্য বোর্ড খোঁজার চেষ্টা করি। Tall, so tall is known as capital D, and dwarf is small d, they mentioned. He never gave this. This was given much later. So for he crossed, or rather he allowed tall plants to grow for several generations. Crossed for several generations. The tall plants were crossed for several generations. Then he crossed among themselves. Let's write. And then he crossed dwarf pea plant for several generations. Among themselves. So dwarf was only crossed with dwarf. And pea plants are self-pollinated. So if you keep a tall plant, automatically they will mate among themselves. Inside themselves only they will mate. So self-fertilization takes place. Themselves. And he found that all of them gave, the tall gave tall, and dwarf gave dwarf. The tall gave tall and the dwarf gave dwarf. And he called them as true varieties. True varieties or true parentals. Because the tall gave tall, dwarf gave dwarf. Now he crossed them. He took pollen from say the tall plant and brushed on the stigma of the dwarf plant, and he sealed them. He did it in many large numbers. He crossed them. So he crossed tall and dwarf varieties. Tall and dwarf varieties. Now these were called parentals. What he found was, in the next generation, it is known as the first filial generation, or F1 he called them. All the plants were tall. all the plants were tall. As if the dwarf variety was masked by the tall variety. It got lost as if. Now what he did, the second generation, he crossed tall into this heterozyte, these are not heterozyte, let me not talk in that term. These tall into tall, the first period, he crossed the F1 generation among themselves. He allowed selfing. And result is that he found in the ratio from 3 tall plants is to 1 dwarf plant. This was a very strange observation, that this character which was lost reappeared. It reappeared. So, on the basis of this, he now said they reappeared. So I must actually, what happened here is that this video capture is having problems. Okay, this character which was lost, it reappeared. And this was by magic. How can it happen by magic? So he said that there are 2 factors. Let's see, recording টা হচ্ছে কিনা. It's happening now properly. There were 2 factors which happened. The first factor was a factor which gave tall plants, and a factor which gave dwarf plants. And in the parental generation, the tall had 2 of them. Capital D, I am just writing for that 2 of these factors. The tall had 2 of these factors. After seeing the data, he said that I gave an hypothesis that this result can only be explained if we have something like this. On seeing the data, then this is how it can happen. Why did it reappear? So, and the dwarf was small d, small d. He said that when they were crossed, one capital D came from one parent and one small d came from one parent. And he gave the principle that it was the law of dominance. That is, one factor suppress the other factor. And now when he crossed this was the F1. In the F2, before I do F2, he said that these gametes, they separated. They were not gametes, that these factors, they segregated. Alag ho jana. That means segregation. Right? So they segregated. And what happened was, in the F2, this factor came up. This means that in generation, the factors present in duplicate segregated, and this is the law of segregation. That they separated. Be very clear on this. Now he got these two laws. Then Mendel decided to do this type of a cross. This type of a cross is known as monohybrid cross. This type of a cross is known as monohybrid cross. Now, this monohybrid cross has happened. Now, he tried to see here only one character that is plant height was taken. Now he decided to see two characters, how two characters move. At that time, the term gene was not coined. We are talking only factors. So, and therefore, he did a cross known as dihybrid cross. He did a dihybrid cross. Now, what does this dihybrid what characters say for him? Took several characters. In our studies, what he did was he used two characters. One was green wrinkled and yellow round. This is yellow round and this is green wrinkled. मटर होता है, घुगनी में ये यूज होता है yellow round, and normal सब्जी में you give this. आजकल this was the former variety. So what he did was took two characters. One was color and the other was shape. Two characters were taken, color and the other was shape. For several generations he bred them till he found that they bred true. That is, green wrinkled gave green wrinkled, yellow round gave yellow round. So after doing such an analysis, he said that I am now became ready for the dihybrid cross. So he crossed yellow round with green wrinkled. He did this cross. Offsprings were all, as expected, yellow round. Then he crossed this with yellow, the second gen. This was the parental. Parental F1. Now he found out an interesting thing. He found 9 yellow rounds, 1 wrinkled, and he found 2 new combinations. He found that 3 of them were yellow wrinkled and 1 was green round. 3 green round was found. Sort of a ratio of 9:3:3:1. He found it in such a ratio. He saw after seeing these 2 things, he gave the concept of independent assortment. Independent assortment means there are 2 combinations. Assortment is a combination. First combination, 2 combinations. One was either yellow plus round combination. The other assortment was green plus wrinkled combination. So after looking at this, he found that these were the original assortment. This is an assortment. He found 2 new assortment. 2 new assorted forms appeared independently, and they were yellow plus wrinkled and the other was green plus round. And on this few new independent assortments which he gave the law of now let us draw the F1 cross. So it's named after the mutation. So he found that yellow, we found that in the cross, yellow is dominant over green and round is dominant over wrinkled. This he found. So he gave them names like the tall variety, parental tall variety was GG, capital G meaning yellow, wrinkled. GGWW, and small variety so this was green wrinkled and this was yellow round. In the first generation they assorted independently. He got this is the F1 variety. They were all yellow round. Now the gametes which were formed, you either had, this was cross-selfed. So the gametes which were produced, one was GW, one was GW. The one was GW, these were the gametes which were formed. Say this is the gametes of the male. Now let us talk about the gametes of the female, which is below. GW, here there is a G, here there is a W. बाजी है वाले जाएगा. This mouse is moving, so no problem. So better take a selection, this one. I have drawn it in the wrong place actually. I have to draw it once more. Because of that interruption, this happened like this. So let's draw it clear. GW, GW, now the green. Right? So all were, this was GW, GW. This was yellow round. Next one was GG, WW. Next one was GG, WW. Next one was GW, no. Next one was GW, GW. Similarly, একটু easy লাগবে, but just keep a bit of patience. Just tell me where I am wrong. W, ভুল হলেই বলবে। GG, W, W, GG, small w। ঠিক বলেছো। G, small w, G, small w। Every year I start like this, genetics, because I know people will make এখানটা ভুল হলো, হ্যাঁ। I'm using different colors, না? তাহলে G কি হবে এখানে? G এর পরে W হবে, ক্যাপিটাল W। ঠিক আছে? GW, এবারে পুরোটাই গ্রিন। GW, GG, WW। এবারে স্মল g, ক্লিয়ার? হ্যাঁ, ছোট w, হ্যাঁ। GW, GW, আবার GW, 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 GW। Now we know, if we look at this, this is yellow round. This one is, this is green wrinkle. This is yellow round, yellow round, yellow round, yellow round. This yellow round. Now, yellow wrinkled, yellow wrinkled. This one, this new combination, This, this, না তাই yellow round, এটা green round, this is also green round, this one wrinkled yellow, round yellow, yellow round. This one yellow, no? Even after all this, next one, okay, this one, very good. So the three combinations were found in the ratio of 9, 3, 3, 1. This was yellow round. This one was yellow wrinkled. This was green round. This is the one which we normally take. Green round. मटर, green मटर. But बाजार में green wrinkled मिलता है. Wrinkled. Right. There is one more concept which you must learn, and that is back cross. So what back cross means? Cross with parental. There is another test cross. What is test cross? With a recessive. Cross with recessive. Okay, clear? So this is all you have to study in Mendel's law. But a few more things about Mendel I have to talk. Mendel, during his lifetime, did not get recognition. He died in the year 1884. Nobody knew his work. He published in a journal. Nobody gave value. So when he died in 1884, the local newspaper ran an article on him that Father Mendel has left for his heavenly abode, and he was particularly known for growing a very red variety of fuchsia flower. It's a type of flower. He was known for making good flowers. A person on whose the results of whose work, the whole genetics and molecular biology and modern biological development stand. He was in his obituary. It was written that he was known for growing good flowers. So 25 years after his death, several people, De Vries, Chamark, and there was another one. These people independently they got these results. Actually, when they went halfway through, suddenly they came across Mendel's paper written in German in a journal. So what he did was what they tried to do was they tried to downplay Mendel's, that his results and work, telling that we did this work, we found something in Mendel's work which we could use. They tried to do it, but still that did not work. Later research found out that they had this one. It was not a proper thing. Now, also, there is a famous British statistician, also biologist you can call, Ronald Fisher. Fisher and Yates correction. Ronald Fisher, he was a strong critic of Mendel. He said that Mendel faked data. So whenever, say for example, he got 1000 F2 plants, he said that 750 of them were tall and 150 were short. In real life, you will never get such a result. It can never come so perfect. You will get something like 900 is to 100, but Mendel's data was there. So he told that Mendel's this work is not fine. So this was one of these critiques. But in spite of Ronald Fisher's everything, Mendel still in the year 1905, the term gene was coined by Johannesson. He was working on cows from the word genesis, to make. The term gene was coined. And in this year, the first international conference on genetics was held. On genetics was held. The first international conference. And then in Brunn, a square was made where Mendel's statue was put in this year. And Mendel was made the father of genetics. His 3 laws of inheritance, that was the first law on genetics which somebody has ever did. He was known as the father of genetics. And this is also very strange that this person, I mean, it's a very emotional thing which I'm saying, that this person, throughout the ages, the church, whenever somebody, Bruno, was burned to death, because then when Copernicus was exiled, he said that Earth is not heliocentric and geocentric, that the planets revolve around the sun. It's not that the other sun and all revolve around Earth. So this concept, the church went against them. Jala dala. Ye dying hai, ye hai, wo hai. They killed people. This is the first time when somebody from a religious background married science. A person who is a person of God, a padre, he has laid down the scientific laws of genetic inheritance. This is the biggest exception you can find, the biggest anomaly. So therefore this chapter is very important, and I make it sure that I teach this chapter every year in genetics. So he was such a great person, his contribution was so great that today if there was no Mendel's law, nothing, you would not have, there would have been nothing. We would have been living in the dark ages. Modern medicine, science, nobody would have got cured or anything. You can say that, in 1905, De Vries and all our shamas, they would have come out. But were they talking about the truth? Were they talking about the truth? Yes, sir. এই চুলটা দেখছি আমি পড়াচ্ছি সব দিদিরা এসে গেছে যাও তোমরা গিয়ে জাম্প করো ওদিকে So this is a very important chapter, I would say, in my opinion. It is very important that you go through these chapters very precisely and thoroughly. So in the next class we will go about certain Mendel, I will talk about a bit of thing that Mendel was lucky in one sense, unlucky in one sense, that he was not recognized during his lifetime. He died in 1884. 25 years after his death, the 26 years, then he got recognition. Mendel was lucky because all the characters which he used, tall and dwarf, tall, say, green, and round, they were not located on the same chromosome. Nowadays, we know a thing known as chromosomes, on which genes are located. Therefore, maybe he got a result he could not explain, so he left it allowed. So, therefore, he never faced the problem of linkage. And more studies, there were certain extensions, some people may call exceptions, to Mendelism. We may not find the 9:3:3:1 ratio, or we may not find the 3:1 ratio. In certain cases, we don't find it. One more thing which I did not mention over here is the concept of genotype. Purposely I did not mention. That is because we were talking in terms of factors. Now when the term gene was given, along with gene, a gene had two contrasting forms and they are known as allele. So tall is an allele and dwarf is an allele. Okay. Of the gene called D, or rather best right, gene called small d. Tall and dwarf, they are alleles. They are the contrasting forms. You can have different blood group A, B, O. You can have different. Okay, go. You can go now. I think there is a class, na? follow. কোনো ব্যাপার না। আজকে তো ক্লাস হবে না বলেই তো আমরা দেরি করলাম। 11টার সময় আছে তো? নেই, আমি তোমাদের ক্লাস পরে নেব, বোধহয় 2টো নাগাদ। আছে কি ক্লাস? ওই জন্যই আমি করলাম, যাতে চাপ না হয়। তোমরা 1 ঘন্টা পেছালে না, তো মনে হয় না there is class, বোধহয় নেই বোধহয় স্যার। তোমাদের জেনেরিকটা 12টার থেকে, 12টার থেকে জেনেরিক ইলেকটিভ, কেমিস্ট্রি বা বটানি যেটা আছে। হ্যাঁ, 12টার থেকে একটা এডি ম্যাম, না এডি ম্যামের তো হবে 1টার পর, 1টার থেকে 2টো, আর জেনেরিকটা তো 12টার থেকে 1টা হওয়ার কথা। না না, আমি তাহলে মিস করলাম আমার ক্লাসটা। দাঁড়াও দেখি, না এটা হওয়া উচিত না। আমি খুলছি। আচ্ছা, আমি রেকর্ডিংটা তো আগে স্টপ